Alrighty, guys, we're back for some Mono Red Phoenix, and this is a Murders at Karlov Manor standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked rockin' Fugitive Codebreaker. This is a 2-mana, 2/1 with Prowess and Haste. Now it has Disguise, so you may cast this card face down for 3 as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. Okay, now you can turn it face up anytime for its Disguise cost, which on this card is pretty steep at 5 and a red. However, it is reduced by 1 for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard, which honestly, we could be able to get this pretty cheap, huh? Now when Fugitive Codebreaker is turned face up, you discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. Seems pretty good, man. I wonder how much that bottom ability actually comes to play. Like, I wonder how often we actually choose to disguise this outside of just having it be a prowess haste creature. That seems pretty solid overall. Now we have a whole bunch of 1-mana cards in here that need no introduction at all. We have all 4 Kumano faces Kakkazan, all 4 Monastery Swiftspear. We got 3 Monstrous Rage, 3 Phoenix Chick, and all 4 Play with Fire as well. And we got a reprint here in the 1-mana spots, Shock. It is a 1-mana instant speed. Shock deals 2 damage to any target. So yeah, of course, Play with Fire is like a much better version of Shock. However, in this build in particular, I think having like 8 of this style of effect is going to be pretty good. Especially since we have Bloodfeather Phoenix in here, all 4 of them. 2-mana 2/2 with flying, it can't block unfortunately. But whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control deals damage to an opponent or battle, we don't have any battles in here, but still, you can pay 1 red mana. If you do, you return Bloodfeather Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until end of turn. Nice. So that could be excellent, dude. And we do have ways to plug the Bloodfeather Phoenix into our graveyard. Outside of just like the bottom ability on Fugitive Codebreaker, there's another way to put that Phoenix in the grave. Like Case of the Crimson Pulse, for example. We have all 4 of them here on the top end. The 3-mana enchantment Case, which I guess is just a new type of enchantment. So when this Case enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. Okay, nice. So something neat about that ability that I recently found out is that discard a card is not a cost. So if you already have an empty hand, you just discard nothing and you still get the draw 2 cards. So that's actually really neat, huh? So the bottom ability here is solved. So we have to have a way to solve it. So to solve this, you have no cards in hand. And if it's unsolved, you solve at the beginning of your end step. So when it is solved at the beginning of your upkeep, discard your hand, then draw 2 cards. And don't forget, you'll also get the card draw for that turn too. So essentially, you're discarding your hand. If it's already empty, great. And then you'll have 3 cards in your hand by the time it's time to actually play cards. So that actually seems super good, doesn't it? Interested to see how much this is actually going to do today. All 4 of them, because I definitely want to see this. Then we have another Phoenix packed in here, Lamplight Phoenix. 3-mana 3/3 with flying. When it dies, you may exile it and collect evidence for. Excuse me, guys. So to collect evidence for, exile cards with total mana value 4 or greater from your graveyard. That should be relatively easy, especially if we're packing our graveyard with a whole bunch of things anyways, off of cards like Case of the Crimson Pulse or Fugitive Codebreaker. So if you do, you return Lamplight Phoenix to the battlefield tapped. So only a 1-of for a good reason, right? So it already has to be on the board to have that whole Phoenix style effect. It actually has to die. There's a lot of exile abilities in standard right now too, so that might be rough in and of itself. So like this isn't a great target to go ahead and discard to like the Case of the Crimson Pulse, for example. You really just want to play this. That being said, I still think it's going to be worth the 1-of because a lot of what this deck is trying to do is fly in the air. We know how good flying can be in mono red. We know that from Godric, right? Which, speaking of which, this is definitely not a Godric build. We'll return to some red deck wins with Godric another time. We still have more cards packed in. Did I talk about Lightning Strike? Of course, we got all 4 Lightning Strikes in here. Also, a Wrenn's Resolve too. I just want to see more off the top all the time with all of these 1-mana cards. We're just going to be addition cards onto the board. So Wrenn's Resolve as a 1-of, going to go a long way. 20 total mana, one of them being a Crucible of Defiance. No honorable mentions today because we see mono red all the time. Like I said, it's not a Godric build. Should that be in the honorable mentions? Totally. But I just wanted to build something different too, so. Okay, guys, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, let's see if we get right into that first game. Of course we do, right? Should be a ton of people playing right now. The set just released. Okay, what do we got here? We go first. This is good, dude. Heck yeah, it's good. Right? I believe this is a pretty good hand. Get that Swiftspear right through. Isn't it? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mirror match. Well, kind of, sort of. We definitely have a little bit of a different version of mono red. Right into that Codebreaker, dude. The prowess is going to be huge for us. Like, this is a lot of prowess to get off of that shock, too, and we have the mana for it. Get the second Codebreaker down and whatnot. Yeah, man. Pretty much anything off the top, too, that would activate these prowess abilities would be excellent. Going first here was... Oh, yep. Yep, they know they're on the defense, so that's why their Play with Fire isn't hitting our face. Okay, Lightning Strike. Yeah, right into the Codebreaker again, right? I don't think we want to play it face down. Pretty sure we just want to play it and go, you know? Actually, full setup for next turn. Probably. Let's do it. Another Swiftspear, huh? I was going to go shock to face, but I think just like the full setup, especially since they could find more burn. So Blazing Crescendo, before combat, they do find Monstrous Rage. Holy cow, dude. That is a chunk of damage. Now they can easily keep up. They could easily kill us next turn. Case of the Crimson Pulse. Oh, man. 2. I think we just keep pushing, though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 9. Oh, wait. We have lethal. Oh. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it, dude. Yeah, all the extra prowess is pretty gross, huh? That's pretty wild. Oh, wait. I should have swung first so the opponent could have... I really wanted to get that swing in, but as soon as I dropped the second shock, we knew that the concede was coming. Darn it. I should have swung first just to get the swing. Aw, man. Yeah, no, even if we lost one of these Swiftspears, we still would have had lethal damage. That's kind of wild to think about, man. That's kind of wild. I wonder then if there was even like an even faster way to push through. Like, for example, if I wouldn't have played the Swiftspear last turn and went right into the shock. Wait, at that point in time, did we know that we had the Lightning Strike, or did we top deck that Lightning Strike? I already forget, man. I gotta go back and watch that game. I think the match was efficient enough regardless, but I'm still wondering if there was an even faster way to put pressure on. Because, like, the opponent had some serious explosive damage there. Like, we were one turn away from death for sure, so had we gone second, would there have been a way through, you know? Let's get that Scry on the Play with Fire. Got the open mana for it anyways. Yeah, I'll keep that Bloodfeather Phoenix. That's going to be a great one to discard to the case. I guess it's Codebreaker again, right? Hopefully it's not a cut down. It is in fact a cut down. I mean, we have to expect it sometimes. And this would be a great showcase of what Case of the Crimson Pulse could actually do then. Maybe make us sustainable. 2 open. Okay. Case of the Crimson Pulse. Discard the Bloodfeather Phoenix. Ooh, okay, okay. It's going to be pretty hard to solve this case when we have another case in hand, which might be something to think about in the final thoughts, you know? The Celestis, they do have 1 open for like another cut down. But we do have cut down protection with the Monstrous Rage. So we will go Swiftspear, see what happens. Okay, I guess maximum amount of damage is totally fine and dandy then. Let's do this. Also, just like dumping cards out of our hand is not a bad thing. Oh yeah, let's not forget the Bloodfeather Phoenix in the grave. So we do have Lightning Strike to face next turn. Bring back the Bloodfeather Phoenix. We do have enough mana for that. Celestis, they gain 1. Go for the draw and the discard. They pass it right back to us with 5 open. It's got to be like a Wandering Emperor, right? I think we stay on track. We stay to what we were going to do. We go Lightning Strike, bring back the Bloodfeather Phoenix, and see what they end up exiling. Probably the Swiftspear, I would imagine. Yeah, I think we stay on track here. Could be 2 pieces of removal. This is going to be that Emperor. I can only imagine Swiftspear is going to bite the dust. However, an exile on the Phoenix would be pretty good too. It can be Swiftspear. They're taking 2, but they gain 2. Yeah. Cracking this case might be pretty difficult when we have multiple of them. So like maybe 3 Case of the Crimson Pulse? Oh, Soren. Dude, we're going to have a rough time, dude. Yeah, the 2-3 lifelink in the air being able to block. Oh, it's a 3-4 now. Dude, we're going to have a real rough time, huh? Okay. So we probably start with Case of the Crimson Pulse here. I don't know which one's better to keep, honestly. I really don't. Both are great, but with all those chump blockers, I think Kumano just poke in face is a little better than the Swiftspear. We have the Shock. They just go -2 again. They do that whole thing again. And we still have a card in hand, so we still didn't solve this case. Okay, I mean, they got the block. I think we just, like, do it anyways, though, unfortunately. Very awkward right now, as I do think they're going to be able to pull ahead really, really nicely. They're going back up to 16 here. But, like, if we don't swing, Phoenix can't block anyways. They swing, they get the lifelink anyways. They could plug another counter onto it, right? So I think the swing was still the best bet. It was just, like, really, really bad for us. Soren in general could be a nightmare for this build, right? They actually go +1, so I mean, we do have a chance of getting Bloodfeather Phoenix back and maybe getting rid of one of these. It's a land, unfortunately. Uh-oh. Okay, Kumano faces Kakkazan. That is an enchantment, so it does not work with... Oh, hey, guys. Their Wandering Emperor was at 1, so Kumano actually dealt with that anyways. Oh, thank goodness, dude. Well, at least we're down, at least we're down to 1. But hey, like, burn off the top Bloodfeather Phoenix, swing at that Soren. That would have been great, man. Now, with 2 cases on the board, they're going to stack on top of each other. We're going to discard the 2 that we got from the first one, so that's going to be a little awkward. Unless we end up discarding, like, more Bloodfeather Phoenix. Yeah, dude, I don't know. And they still have 3 mana open here, too. Everything on taps, everything gets a counter. So they do have, like, lethal on this board state. Oh, and since we're just going to die from Sheoldred, dude. Oh, no. Ultra punished. Oh, no. Oh, that's a lot of land, too. Oh, well, that was... Oh, no, guys. Sheoldred, why? That's funny, dude. Holy cow. We just took 10 damage in 1 turn from their Sheoldred play. Phoenix Chick wasn't bad, but holy cow did we draw a lot of mana from the cases too. So a lot to be said about the Case of the Crimson Pulse this game for sure. Doubling up wasn't that great. Ultra Sheoldred punish for sure. Like, I don't even know where to begin. I guess we might need to add some burn to get around Sheoldred. The point of how the... Oh, wow, guys, more mana. Oh. Ooh. When 20 land feels like 26 land, huh? That's scary stuff. Anyways, yeah, the whole point is to fly over the Sheoldred anyways, but that being said, if we're drawing that much, Sheoldred might very well be a huge problem. I mean, like, it's always a problem anyways. I'm just getting at, yeah, the deck isn't well suited to actually hit 5 damage on a creature when we're trying to just fly in the air with our Phoenixes anyways. And of course, poke through the rest of the damage with burn. So, I don't know. Definitely something to consider. Of course, a big way to take care of Sheoldred is like a combat trick too, right? Like Monstrous Rage on one of our prowess creatures when they block. I do know opponents sometimes don't accept those combat tricks though. Like if you have open red mana and they think the Shieldred will die, they do value the Shieldred more than their life total sometimes. I'm gonna go right into the Swiftspear and hope that the opponent doesn't concede. You never know sometimes. Poor Monastery Swiftspear. Okay, shock. Okay. I don't mind this hand. Do I go right into the Monstrous Rage for maximum amount of damage? Yeah, probably. Probably, right? Try to go as fast as possible here. This is a lot of burn, so if they end up getting rid of the Swiftspear, then we're still getting through a lot in the air. Gallagreeters. That's probably a good one to actually take care of, though, because of the life gain. But I might still just hit all to face. See if they block. Let's start with the Scry, see what's on top, and then decide about that Gallagreeters. Mountain. We will have 5. I'm going to keep the Mountain. We're going to go all to face. Keep the Gallagreeters. Because if they go for 2 life gain off the Gallagreeters, they'll go back up to 6. We'll have 5 in hand because we're seeing that Mountain too. Yeah, GG opponent. GG, buddy. Oh, man. That was a great example hand of why like having the extra shocks is pretty darn good, right? Just seeing more of that style of ability where we're just constantly poking the opponent's face, and with all these prowess creatures too. Yeah, man. Okay. I mean, so far so good, right? We're 17 minutes in. Let's keep the ball rolling. So far, our 2-drop prowess seems pretty good. I think like having haste on that is so huge. Okay, this one just this hand just looks like mono red, unfortunately. No new cards. Of course, I'm talking generic mono red. I mean, every hand's gonna look like mono red because that's what we're playing, but yeah, you guys know what I mean. At some point, we gotta visit Godric mono red and try out like the frantic scapegoat. And then there's also oh, what's the name of that card? It's connecting the dots, right? Yeah. That's the one that cares about creatures attacking. And I think going like the Godric path and just really heavily leaning into creatures and permanents and whatnot, that would be pretty sick. Yeah, we got to try that one out too. Then I also have mono red goblins. I already got those ready. I don't know exactly when I'm playing it, but hopefully sometime this week. Opponent has arrived. Turn 1 Swiftspear. The new artwork for the new Fancy Pants lands. I think they're really neat, man. Every now and then, I like to get the Fancy Pants lands. This was one of those times because I think like, the cityscape, like this is so cool to me. Opponent, are you there, buddy? I'm over here admiring land, but I suppose I should be pausing the recording while we wait for you. Ooh. We're up against Selesnya enchantments. I don't really want to double down on Monstrous Rage, but I mean, I like Lightning Strike on the Visitor isn't that great either, is it? Because I'd rather Lightning Strike their Jukai Naturalist when it comes time. Okay, I'll just awkwardly play Monstrous Rage and have 1 mana open. For now, since it's only their turn 1, we could have doubled down on Monstrous Rage for an extra 3 too, but then the other roll goes away and then we won't have a combat trick in the future. So that's a tough scenario there. So yeah, nothing buffing the Visitor. They go for the swing. They decide, hey, I'm not blocking with this anyways. I might as well poke 1 through. Okay, Swiftspear, not bad, not bad. So we could go Lightning Strike onto the Kami of Transience before it gets above the Lightning Strike. We could just like swing. They don't have life gain over there yet is the big thing. Let's swing, see what happens. Is it just going to be like Monstrous Rage? We could just Lightning Strike their face too. How much damage would that be? Lightning Strike to face for the turn. 8 damage total, right? So that would bring them down to 6. So since everything's getting through, it should probably be Monstrous Rage number 2. Because if they find removal next turn, see, that was still 8, so it was the same amount of damage. But now if they find removal, like, you know, or if they like double down on removal somehow, that would be awful. Losing the Swiftspears and having no target for the Rage. But now if they find removal, at least we still have that burn to their face. Okay, Calyx, still no life gain. I totally think we'll be able to get there. As long as we don't see mana off the top, right? Oh no, mana off the top, bro. Full swing Lightning Strike face, right? Or full swing hit Calyx. They're going to be forced to block. Kami of Transience. Okay. I still think it's looking great for us. I'm going to full swing. I think we go Lightning Strike to face. And they might not block enough here. See, like we could go... Oh, they didn't block enough. Okay, there it is. There it is, guys. That should be 6 damage. Yeah, so they were forced to block the other thing. I feel like that was a relatively risky block from the opponent when we had 2 in hand and 4 mana on the board, right? That being said, maybe they're thinking, oh, if it's like a play with fire in a land, we're totally safe. It happened to be the Lightning Strike. Pretty good. That was just like Mono Red doing the generic Mono Red thing, though. I want to see the new cards. Come on. See more new cards in the opening hand this time. And so far, the opening hands have been solid, right? No real reason for mulligan. There's a case. And I guess we are seeing shock a lot in these matches, which so far feels pretty good. If anything, I could see maybe dropping down to 3 shock and going up burn spell that can actually hit Shieldred too, right? Because it doesn't feel like we're flying in the air as much as I thought we would be with our Phoenixes. Alright, better get Kumano faces Kakkazan down. Without any other creatures hitting this board, yeah, we just need to make sure that this flips and establishes itself as soon as possible. Storm Chaser Drake, cool. Alright, no creature for the second phase on the Kumano. Alright, we're going to shock the Storm Chaser Drake while they don't have protection open, guys. We do know, like, this style of build runs a whole bunch of protection spells like Slip Out the Back and whatnot. So getting that off the board could be great. And they probably have, see, like, protection open for the Virtuoso, for example. But this flips. Okay, Monastery Swiftspear. Case of the Crimson Pulse, we do have the mana for now. But, like, I'll tell you what, Swiftspear, huh? Swiftspear with Monstrous Rage. Probably just a little better here. It lands. Unless this is a Spell Pierce, that would be pretty awkward. Although the Prowess will still go through, but then the Double Strike trades with Etching. Nope, yep, definitely still worth the swing. Definitely. They might not even block. Okay, at that point, do we go Lightning Strike phase? No, it's going to be the Monstrous Rage again, right? We better go right onto the Swiftspear again. Because Trample Prowess is disgusting, as it will ever be. Good damage. What do you guys think? 20 damage from the Virtuoso this turn? Dude, that would be wild. I would just be rooting for the opponent at that point. I'd be cheering for them the whole time. Homestead Courage. You never know, dude. We've seen some wild things with Illuminator Virtuoso. There's another Plains. It could be another Homestead Courage. Or, I mean, yeah, flash it back. Bring it up to 5. What else could they do? They have a couple islands over here. Oh, they discard another Homestead Courage. Unfortunately, they don't have more white mana. That would have been sick, though. Yeah, if they could get it up to 10. Security bypass. Holy cow, dude. Holy cow. So that is now an unblockable 5/5. They get a connive because of the bypass. Holy cow, dude. I, like, legit, maybe there was a real chance of us dying that turn, and now there's a real chance of us dying next turn. Oh no, more mana. Oh no. Guys, is there a way through? I think we just died. Oh, Illuminator Virtuoso. Ah, such a cool card, man. I guess, yeah, like, how do we get around a 6/6 double strike? No great swings. Mana, the mana was really bad. And we can't block it next turn. I'm thinking, but I don't think there's anything. I literally don't think there's anything. So we full swing, they block the Swiftspear, they take the 2, we hit, like, face Lightning Strike, right? I guess it's Case to the Crimson Pulse. I was just double checking my options here. Not a lot. Case, discard the Mountain, maybe find a 1 mana, yeah, like play with fire, right? So that way we actually did 2 things to buff the Swiftspear a few times. But, like, the double strike is the problem here. Like, we actually just don't have a terrific combat trick. Oh, they actually just go for the etching just in case? Just in case we have something to give first strike, maybe? But at that point, we go face with play with fire. Get maximum amount of damage. Another mountain on top. Ew. Ew, get out of here. Down to 6. Drop the opponent the GG, man. That is sick stuff. Like, for real, that was their... Right, that was their turn 4. That was a really, really good turn 4. And if you are up against mono red, and you are able... Oh my goodness. Dude. Holy cow. They give it water wings here. Until end of turn, target creature you control has base power toughness 4/4. Gets flying and hexproof. Very nice, man. Ah, when's the last time we played with Virtuoso? I gotta go back. We gotta go visit some Virtuoso, man. Because I remember how fun that card is, too. At some point in that match, I started rooting for the opponent, and then it, like... They totally did a thing there, huh? About 27 minutes into the video, guys. Totally have time for a few more matches easily. The games have been fast. Okay, there's our Bloodfeather Phoenix. Let's see if we can get that doing a thing this game. Case of the Crimson Pulse to go ahead and discard the Phoenix potentially if we don't want to play it turn 2. Codebreaker for turn 2 instead is probably fine. Skrelv coming down. Okay. Ooh, Swiftspear. Okay. Well, at that point, a little bit of setup with our prowess was probably pretty good again, huh? Skrelv can't block. Let's get that swing. Even if Skrelv could block, they would never take that trade, probably. Skrelv is relatively decent at keeping things around on the board that they want to keep around, right? Like, they want to keep protection for the Vanguard for sure. So I doubt they swing here, because we could easily burn that Vanguard away. Oh! All right. I mean, we don't have the burn, but, like, mono red could easily burn the Vanguard away. So, Mountain. A little bit of setup. A little bit of setup. Maybe. Maybe. Probably not. Yeah, probably not. I'm going to go Kumano for the turn instead. Monstrous Rage. It's going to be Phoenix Chick. Yeah, changing the lineup a little bit here based on the Vanguard play. Like, if we went Codebreaker for the setup, then Swiftspear couldn't have swung through. We could have swung with Codebreaker, but they could have accepted that trade potentially. And since they didn't value the Coppercoat Vanguard with the Skrelv's protection, I figured maybe there is a second one or something too. That being said, a trade to get rid of the second Vanguard would not be bad for us, because 2 Vanguards on the board is rough. But right now, we're just doing our best to outpace this. Okay, Shock is pretty good. Mountain off the top would be good too. So right now, I want to utilize that counter. But I also want to get rid of this Vanguard while the protection's down. So I suppose we don't worry about the counter. Get that Vanguard off this board. This is a great way. Like I said, we want to outpace. This is a way to do it, I would say. If they double block Swiftspear, that would be devastating for them. So I'm pretty sure they take this. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, buddy. Oh, that's brutal. I'm so sorry, opponent. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. All right, so the Kumano phases Kakkazan flips next turn. Still, mana off the top for a case might be pretty good. Oh, Extraction Specialist. Okay, bring back the Vanguard that way. And the lifelink is super dangerous, man. Lamplight Phoenix. Uh-oh, another 3-drop that we can't do anything about. Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh. The Specialist is huge for them. That lifelink. Can't attack or block. That's good at least. So they don't even accept these trades. They just take this damage and let the lifelink do the thing. So Bloodfeather Phoenix, Codebreaker. Thinking opponent. Yeah, not seeing the 3rd mana is a little rough, but at this point, just playing like Case for the turn wouldn't even be that great, huh? Flying in the air or Codebreaker Prowess for next turn. I think it's Codebreaker because we get the swing this turn too, right? I think so. If they accept any of the trades, then Vanguard can attack or block. They do get the 4. They do accept this trade instead of saying like, okay, we'll swing with our lifelink. So they go back up to 10. It's gonna be Adeline. Dude, the opponent is just stacking fire on top of fire, man. A great cards lined up. They keep the Vanguard back. They swing. The 3 total down to 12. We got 4 poison too we gotta watch out for. Hey, there we go. Okay. Adeline's a problem too. So Case, we could discard Phoenix, but we don't have any, like, burn. Lamplight doesn't have enough evidence in the grave if we, like, go into any trades there, too. Is it Lamplight for the turn, though? Keep blockers back? They have Mishra's Foundry? Oh, no, guys, we're on the defense, and it's because that Adeline's on the board. Lamplight Phoenix. So when this dies, you may exile it and collect evidence 4. So if we have like 2 things dying on the same turn, for example, like if we block with Etching, would the Etching be in the graveyard to pick up for the evidence as well? Like then we'll actually have the evidence 4. Oh, another Vanguard off the top. Dude, holy cow. This Extraction Specialist was so good for them, man. But also just ripping fire too, so... Skrelv, they could call red for Adeline, just swing in, and then just put us on a 2-turn clock that way. See, no blocks with the Lamplight Phoenix then. They do go for the 3-1 swing too. Oh, that's why. We're forced to block at least one of them, other words, it's lethal. So we could go down to 1, not bring back. We could block 2 things. I guess now's the time to test this, huh? Let's see if the Etching hits the grave. And then we're able to collect evidence. Let's see if it works. Because if we are, then bringing the Phoenix back, getting 2 of their creatures off the board and taking less damage. Okay, so they go to the grave, it looks like, right? Take action. Then we can take the action. Yep, there it is. 3, 4. Okay. Actually really sick, dude. Phoenix comes back. Lightning Strike. Okay. Okay, Full swing, Lightning Strike. Depending if they block the Codebreaker, that could be it. We're risking it, man. Let's do this. They might take it. but I'm pretty sure they block the Codebreaker. And we do have the... Oh, no trample on Codebreaker. Ward on this too. So it's just lightning strike the opponent's face, and it's just like, it's GG for them. Because the Adeline, wow, yeah. Yeah, was that anyone's game? Maybe. A little bit more mana early on. Could have been really good. See, we had one open mountain here too, like one of the shocks. Good game, opponent. Very good game. That was an excellent one. Like another shock or a play with fire in hand would have been huge for us, right? Oh wait, hold up. We only see the one shock, so we did have 7 abilities in there in the build that could have won us that game, right? We only saw the one shock. They're at 2. Oh, and then we had 2 more Monstrous Rage in the build as well. Holy cow, guys. Yeah, I guess we had a lot of stuff in. Now, we weren't drawing. I'm just saying, like, if we saw something other than the case or the Bloodfeather Phoenix, I suppose. Or if I would have been able to get Case of the Crimson Pulse down earlier, maybe we would have drawn into the stuff we needed to actually get that 2 through as well. And they ended up gaining 4 off the Extraction Specialist block too. So, oh man, so much to think about. Like all the time, huh? 36 minutes in. Let's get one more game in. We'll try to end on a high note. So far, I feel like the deck is kind of doing the thing. Is it doing the thing that the Godric builds are doing? Probably not. However, of course, we love testing out those new cards on the first day. And so far, I feel like we got to drop down to 3 cases. And so far, the Fugitive Codebreaker feels like the 4 of that we want for this build, especially this build where we're rocking all the extra shock effects and everything. So that's one that I will not be dropping down. I don't think, right? It just feels like it's doing so much, you know what I mean? We go first here. All this extra burn, like we could lean heavier into the burn side of things. I'm just going to use that shock while we have the open mana, huh? They gained a little bit there, no worries. Codebreaker. And we haven't used the Codebreaker's disguise at all. And maybe that's something I should be considering, right? I think just like a 2-1 haste, especially for this game too, though. Much better. Tell you what, putting a counter on that, yeah, that would be huge for them. Another shock. I don't mind it. Crucible Phoenix. I suppose we're going to have to go combat trick here. Probably keep the lightning strike back to hit their face at some point. Alright, full swing. See what they do. They might not block, but I'm pretty sure they do. So Prowess gets it to safety and takes care of this. Yep, we save it. We save it. We're trying to maximize the damage on our burn spells with the Prowess. Something tells me they're going to have more ways to block that Codebreaker, though, so we'll see. Maybe we just end up shocking. Okay, more combat tricks with the shock? It just doesn't feel good, huh? Maybe... Well, now we can double down to the opponent's face to get that to the 4 that we need. However, they do have 1 mana open, too, so... Hey, Bloodfeather Phoenix. Okay. Let's see what they end up doing here. We probably double down, hit the opponent's face. Codebreaker will take care of the blocker. I'd love to just get Phoenix Chick down for the turn, though. Or Bloodfeather Phoenix, my bad. Maybe that's what I end up doing. We could still go shock here, too. I do it that way. But I don't think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep Codebreaker back. Super awkward. We're going to swing with Phoenix Chick. A great blocker, dude. A 1-4 is not half bad. Get the Bloodfeather Phoenix down. Since they're blocking so well on the ground, getting flyers in air just seems a little better to me. We still have the shock open. Otherworldly Gaze. Okay. I wonder if we do that while we're tapped out. Oh! Slime Against Humanity. Dude, let's go, opponent. That's a lot in the grave? Okay, good thing we're flying in the air, guys. It's a good thing. I wonder how many of these they have in the deck. So, a deck can have any number of cards named Slime Against Humanity. So the card comes in, it's a trample 0/0. You put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is 2 plus the total number of cards you own in exile and your graveyard that are oozes. That's really sick. So Codebreaker's not getting through anytime soon. So we're just going to go ahead, poke the opponent's face for the turn. Codebreaker's going to have to block, probably. Oh, but yeah, the trample, yeah, it doesn't even matter. 3 in the air, more land, not great. See, now this is a game where the case of the Crimson Pulse would be pretty good. Down to 9, because we're running out of cards, we're running out of steam. Dude, this ooze could get out of hand. They could play another one this turn and then just be threatening lethal in no time. Okay, another life gain. They go for the swing, I'm almost certain of it, yep. So we take the 7, because now there's a chance that Codebreaker gets through. Plus, like, taking 1 less doesn't seem worth it at all. Down to 13. It's another one, yeah, so they're going to be threatening lethal. They have the blockers they need. While we have this open mana, guys, we're just going to hit face and hope we see something off the top. Because Codebreaker's not getting through. Oh, no, guys, land. Bring the opponent down to 4, and they got an awesome full swing with some chunky oozes. Dude, sick deck opponent. Holy cow, man. Yeah, we really struggled today to push that last little bit through sometimes, huh? I mean, not in every game, obviously, but yeah, the trample gets through. Hey, good game. I forget if I actually dropped it at the bottom, but yeah, that one, I don't think there was a way through. Hey, we gotta visit this Slime Against Humanity at some point, huh? View Battlefield. Oh, actually want to see the bottom part of this card again, right down here somewhere. Total number of cards you own in exile and in your graveyard that are oozes or are named Slime Against Humanity. Dude, holy cow, that was wild. I wonder how many of these they actually had then, because they ended up hitting a ton of them. 10 of them. Right? That's what the number 10 there's for. Seed of Hope. Yep, that totally makes sense. The life gain on Seed of Hope is awesome too. The Mill seems good. The Otherworldly Gaze. Surveil 3. And then the Archaeologist happens to just be a great 2-mana blocker as well. That really slowed us down, like, a lot too. So, oh, wow. I really like the opponent's deck there, man. Like, Simic decks that really just know how to slam damage, I like those. I like Simic Tempo too, but that didn't even look like Tempo. That was just like Simic Ooze, you know? Which could potentially be super aggressive, as we just saw there. Like, we weren't able to keep up with it. Okay, here's the deck list again, guys. Okay, yeah, Codebreaker seems good. I guess sometimes it had trouble swinging in, but you're going to have that issue with, like, Swiftspear sometimes too, huh? Didn't see as much Shielder today as I thought we would, but Shielder's still going to be a problem. Are the Phoenixes flying in the air enough? No, actually, I don't think it is. A Bloodfeather Phoenix seemed to be pretty hard to see in general. Like, we have all 4 of them, so, you know, if you play the build, you're going to see maybe more than what I saw of Bloodfeather Phoenix. But then also, it's pretty hard to actually get in the grave, too. Generally speaking, when I talk about cards that like to be in the grave, I always say, like, oh, well, the opponent's going to put it in the grave anyways, because there's just, like, way too much spot removal. But right now in Standard, there's, like, a lot of exile spot removal, too, so a lot of ossifications, lay down arms, things like that. Bloodfeather Phoenix didn't do as much today as I would have hoped it to do, right? Outside of that, just like the normal mono red stuff in here, right? Like Swiftspear, drop the Monstrous Rage, like all that disgusting stuff that we've been seeing for a very long time now. That's still just exactly as you'd expect it to be. It's still very, very good. So a few things, right? We didn't see the one Wrenn's Resolve. I think that's totally going to be fine to keep in here as the one of. I really liked having the 4 Play with Fires mixed with the 4 Shocks. That being said, I think I would drop 1 Shock. So we have 7 of those style abilities. Sometimes it just didn't feel like it was enough, and sometimes it felt like we needed to actually just have more set up on the board before seeing the burn too. There were other times though where we were like, oh man, just like anything off the top would win, and then Yeah. If we drop one, then we're giving ourselves one less chance of winning, but not necessarily, right? Just like more utility too. Okay. So I would drop a shock down to 3. I would go up a way to remove bigger creatures. Probably not Witchstalker Frenzy, right? Witchstalker Frenzy is one that you would probably want in like that Godric style build that I was talking about, where we want more creatures. We don't have too many creatures swinging in. It's very much like a burn style, prowess style build. Yeah, but this still gets pretty cheap. 5 damage to creature. Which one do you guys think we should go up? Let me know in the comments. Outside of that, you're planning on building mono red? Unfortunately, it's probably better to just build the old version of mono red until we solve some of these new cards, right? Like Case of the Crimson Pulse. Probably want 3 of these too, but then also what would we go up? Same concept, like a card similar to Witchstalker Frenzy, make sure we can hit those bigger creatures, get them out of the way. Yeah, since like it was a lot harder to fly in the air than I thought, probably. So that's what I would end up doing, guys. I would drop a Case of the Crimson Pulse, I would drop a shock, and go up a way to remove chunkier creatures. Outside of that, the mana, 20 mana, huh? There's so many instances where you're going to want to have your 3rd on the board, or you're going to want to have 4 or 5 to be able to do multiple things on the same turn, to be able to dump your hand. I think the 20 mana is fine, and I think the floods that we saw today, that's just like Magic the Gathering. That's just going to happen, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think so. Guys, let me know what you thought of the list down in the comments. If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. Make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link, as well as the Patreon link if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. All right, I will see y'all in the next video.